Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call our open session meeting to order at this time and ask everyone to join with us as we join in our national anthem at this time and our traditional land acknowledgement.
The land upon which we work, live, and sustain ourselves is the ancestral and treaty lands of the Michizagig and Anishinaabe, also known today as the Mississaugas of the Credit, the rightful caretakers and title holders of this land. We also recognize the rich pre-contact history and relationships which include the Anishinaabe and the Ongwe-Hongwe.
Since European contact, this land continues to be home to Indigenous and non-Indigenous peoples. As responsible community members, we value the diversity, dignity, and worth of all people.
Colonialism displaced and dispossessed Indigenous peoples of their ancestral land
and continues to deny their basic human rights, dignities, and freedoms.
We are committed to learning true history to reconcile, make reparations, and fulfill our treaty obligations to the original peoples and our collective responsibilities to the lands, water, animals, and each other for future generations.
I have no additions to the agenda tonight, so I'm going to ask Trustee Brad McDonald to approve the agenda for me. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Any declaration of conflict of interest? I'm seeing none. Then I move them to item 6 on the agenda, which is our board activities. And they're on the screen behind me, Child Abuse Prevention Month, Cybersecurity Awareness Month, International Walk to School Month, Islam Heritage Month, Latin Heritage Month, Learning Disability Month, Women's History Month. They're all here, and we join in celebrating with all these groups as the dates arrive. And therefore, we continue as a board to ensure that our students are engaged and aware of the various different activities within our school. We're going to move down to retirement, which is 7.1 at this time. Trustee Cole? No.
I just want to say we appreciate up to however many years with the school board. We appreciate your time, your dedication to the school board. We appreciate you. We still do, even though you're gone. And we wish you the best in all your future endeavors.
Thank you, Vice Chair Cole. Okay, can we have somebody move and approve? Trustee Promote, Trustee Bailey, all those in favor? Carried. Thank you. Tonight, I have no chair's announcement, so I'm going to move right down to our directors. I have no report also, so thank you, Director, for that. So we don't have any report from trustee and external. Sorry, first we need to go to the student trustees, and we have no report from our student trustees. Okay, and we also have no report from our trustees appointed to external organization at this point. Okay, all right, so then we're gonna move to item 12 on our agenda tonight, approve of minutes from previous board and special board meetings. So 13.1 is the minutes from our board meeting of August 23rd. They're here, and I'm gonna ask trustee Benjamin, trustee Clark to put them on the floor for me. Okay, all those in favor? Carries, thank you. And we're gonna go to our committee meetings. This time, physical planning, trustee Davies and trustee Promoli. Okay, putting them on the floor for me. Question, concerns?
Yep.
Okay,
Through you, Chair, my questions for the minutes of.
oh,
follow-up
for
of
the minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
I thought you were going to ask for questions.
Okay, all right, my apology. Okay, let me get approval of this and then
Yep.
I'll allow you, because seeing that I'm kind of moving too fast. All those in favor? Okay, all right, thank you. So we will go back to 13.1, the minutes of our last board meeting. Trustee House has a question.
Yes, sir.
Trustee Hobbs, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you, Chair. Through you, Chair. I just wanted to follow up to ask if staff have an update. In the last open session, I asked for the number of 310s that have been filed year over year for the last, I believe it was 5 years. And staff had made a commitment to bring that report back, but it would, they said they needed some time. So I was just wondering if staff, I believe it was Michelle Stubbings, have an update.
So trustee, if you remember at the meeting, I did say that there's a lot going on right now with staff. So we need to give staff some time to able to do the work, because this takes times to compile what you're asking for. And it's also takes staff away from what they're doing right now to do that work. But they will bring back a report to us, but we need to give them time to do so. And Superintendent Stubbing is nodding yes, they're still investigating.
Okay, thank you, Chair. The question was, so we had asked this actually, we asked this at the last open session, but we had actually asked this at the beginning of the year, and it wasn't included in the initial report. So the question is just for staff to provide a rough timeline of when they might have the number of 310s to provide us, not the specific number, but if they could just, propose, hey, it'll be 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, just so we know when to expect that report. Thank you.
All right, so what I'll do, I'll ask staff for the next board meeting, if you can bring that for us to give us an estimate timeline of when you think we can have that report coming back to us. Okay? All right, thank you. Okay. All right, okay, so we're gonna move to 14.2, which is the Governance and Policy Committee meeting of September 13. Trustee B. McDonald, Trustee Bailey. Okay, who's on that? All those in favor? Okay, good. All right. So out of that meeting, there is one recommendation. Yeah, yes. So I'm going to go through them one at a time, and then I'm just going to ask for approval instead of complicate things, because I'm looking at my list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, all right. Okay. So again, Trustee McDonald and Trustee Alves, Trustee Alves has put them on the floor for me. Okay, so the first one is that the revised social media policy be approved and replace the existing social media policy in Appendix 1. They're here for approval. Question? Tina, all those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Number 2, excursion policy. That the excursion policy be approved and replaced with the existing policy 17 excursion, which is Appendix 2. Question, concern? Seeing none. Trustee Benjamin and Trustee Cole is moving that for me. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Trustee honorary policy. That a revised trustee honorary policy pertaining to the year November 15, 2023, November 14, 2024, be approved effective November 15, 23, and that the policy 72 of trustee honorary policy pertaining to the period December 1st, 22 to November 14, 23 be replaced. And Appendix 3 is here. Trustee Johal, Trustee Davies. Question, concern? None. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. Okay, number 4. Policy 71, video surveillance security cameras in school site. And that the video surveillance policy, formerly security cameras in school, be approved. And that's Appendix 4. Trustee Cole, Trustee Hobbs. Question, concern? All those in favor? Carries. Thank you. And number 5, motion by Trustee Bailey, re-student transportation. And whereas the Peel District School Board has a policy regarding transportation, policy 39, and whereas transportation policy 39 specifically provide that transportation shall be provided to regional learning choice program. And whereas Peel families have made requests to the Peel District School Board to provide student transportation to regional learning choice program, therefore be it resolved that staff report with a review of transportation policy 39 and that the regional choice program policy 64 in relation to student transportation and possibility solutions starting in 2024-25 school year. And further that the policy of Peel District School Board work with Stopper to propose update to the eligibility requirement for student transportation to be included in the report. Trustee Bailey, this is yours. And further that the report include estimate budget impact of including of student transportation option for regional learning choice program, and further that the report come back to a future meeting of the governance policy committee. You put this on the floor? Okay. And who's Trustee Johal is second this. Question, concern, comments? Trustee Davies.
I just want to totally clarify, this is to bring back a report on the financial impact of doing this. This is not, hey,
Right.
we're doing this.
Exactly.
No blank check. We're just inquiring. Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly. All right. Any other comments or question? I'm seeing none. All those in favor? Carries. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. All right, now we can move on. So we're going to move down to item 15, staff report, 15.1, two split LGBT action plan presented but I will turn it over to our director to introduce Dr. Logan.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Green. Thank you, and through you, Chair Green, I will now ask Associate Director Camille Logan to present the Two-Spirit LGBTQIA Action Plan.
Thank you, Director Swaroop, and through you, Chair Green. This report serves as a response to the resolution by the Board of Trustees to develop a Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ action plan. The action plan before you is a living document that has been designed to demonstrate our commitment to human rights and creating inclusive and learning and working environments that are free from systemic forms of discrimination, namely homophobia, transphobia, biphobia, and other forms of oppression that historically and currently have negative impacts on students and staff who identify as Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+. As identified in the report, implementation of this plan will improve the educational experiences and outcomes for all students. I will now call upon Superintendent Lisa Hart, Superintendent of Equity, Indigenous Education, School Engagement, and Community Relations to provide an overview of the report.
Thank you, Associate Director Logan, and through you, Chair Green. As identified in the report, I would like to recommend that the Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ Action Plan, as attached as Appendix 1, be approved. The action plan has been developed to create anti-oppressive and inclusive learning and working environments that are humanizing, liberating, and healing. It's intended to improve the educational experiences and enhance the system's response to Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ students and staff while building upon previous long-standing work that has occurred throughout the system. The action plan addresses areas of concern and improvement informed by Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ students, families, staff, and community consultations. Research shows that positive learning and working experiences and the overall school environment has a significant impact on the lives of Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ students, families, educators, and staff. The action plan is a commitment to ensuring that collectively we work to create environments that will support Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ students and staff in reaching their full potential by creating identity-affirming spaces that uphold human rights and support the intersecting identities of all those we serve. All members of the PDSB community will implement the action plan according to their roles and responsibilities. The action plan outlines the key actions in 5 categories: education and professional learning, working and learning environments, mental health and sense of belonging, community engagement, responsive hiring, and workplace equity. The action plan is a living document that will be dynamic and responsive based on ongoing consultation and communication with students, families, and stakeholders, specifically those who identify as Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the students, staff, parents, and community members who willingly shared their personal narratives, perspectives, and experiences to inform the development of the action plan. Their critical voice was crucial in developing an action plan that was responsive and accountable to the growing concerns of Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ education. Thank you, and I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you, Associate Director Logan and Superintendent Art, for presenting the report. Much appreciated, the report. Before I go to question, I'm going to ask Trustee Promoli and Trustee B. McDonald to put this on the floor for me. Okay, all right. Question for either Associate Director Logan or Superintendent Art at this time. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing Trustee Clark. Okay, all right. I'm not seeing any other hands at this time. No? Okay, all right, Trustee Clark, go ahead.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I've got a couple. There's a lot of misunderstanding and misinformation about what all this means and what.
Question,
by
please.
the definition.
Trustee Clark.
Okay, so my apologies. Through you, Chair. The letter that was to go out to parents to explain this to them, has that gone out yet? I believe at the beginning of the.
Okay, what, okay, just a minute, please. What letter are you referring to?
Okay, at the beginning of the, there was
The-
supposed to have been
Trustee Clark,
Yes.
this is an action plan. It is, they're presenting an action plan for approval for the work to start. The letter cannot go out until
Okay.
this is approved by the board And once it's approved by the board, then a process will be developed. And part of that would be to communicate with parents.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you to be quiet. I'm gonna ask you to be quiet and allow this meeting to proceed properly. If you have any question, I will wait, I will stay back and I will answer any question, but please do not disrupt the meeting. Please do not disrupt the meeting. Okay. 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 So do you have a next question, Trustee Clark?
No, my apologies.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Anybody else have any question? Trustee Promoli?
Thank you so much for all of your work on this. I know that staff has been working very hard on this through recent months and the years ahead of this too. Did the Pride Employee Resource Group have the opportunity to review the action plan to this point?
Through you, Chair Green, thank you for the question, Trustee Promoli. Yes, the Pride ERG was engaged and provided critical feedback in the shaping and development of the action plan.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. And through you, Chair, I appreciate that there are stats that are included because, of course, we did have a lot of, we had the employment standards report and the workforce census that came back earlier this year that gave us a lot of information about what's happening in our schools and our community. I was wondering what the intention is for measurement of progress and success over the time ahead.
So thank you for the question, Trustee Promoli. Through you, Chair Green. The Human Resources, they did work on the responsive hiring and workplace equity section of the action plan, and they have identified metrics that will support that work. In addition, as they're building out their strategy in response to the report, that you will see it more in depth also show up in that space.
Yeah. Okay, that's great. I really appreciate, and I know that this is the beginning of the action plan, and I thank you for your work on it and look forward to the time ahead. So thank you. And through you, Chair, thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Promoli. Trustee Bailey.
Through you, Chair. Thank you for your work on this report. I just have two small questions. In reading this document, if it's gonna be sent out to parents, I'm assuming, at the end. In it, on page 98, what does PSSP mean? Because I was trying to figure out what that is.
That is the parents group, parents group like school council, parents involvement, and so forth.
Why is it not written out
So,
so that way parents understand it?
So we can ask staff to take that back.
Yes.
Thank you. I'll make that edit.
Thank you. And the other thing is, you did an awesome job of putting in a glossary of terms. Thank you so much for that. The one thing that that was missing from the glossary is cis. You didn't define a definition of cis, so it left, like, if you're not familiar with the language, what is cis? So that's something that I think you should actually look at as well.
Okay.
But other than that, fabulous.
Okay, thank you for that, Trustee Bailey, and staff will definitely take that back. Okay, Trustee Hoff.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd also like to extend my thanks to staff for compiling this report. No light task, not at all. Just curious, when we looked at the name of the report, I noticed in conversation with others here today that we separated out Two-Spirit. Just wondering why we separated out Two-Spirit from the acronym instead of just leaving it as the acronym.
So thank you for the question, Trustee Alves, and through you, Chair Green.
Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to ask again, please do not disrupt the flow of the meeting. Thank you. Okay. Okay. As I said, if you have any question, I'm willing to stay back and answer all your questions tonight. Okay. But allow me to finish the meeting and I will be able to answer your question for you. Okay. Okay, go. I will explain to you. I will stay back and I will explain to you. Please. Okay. Huh? No, it will be after the meeting is finished. It will be after the meeting. Okay. 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 I'm going to ask that the meeting, I'm going to ask you, I'm going to ask that we come to order. Please do not interrupt. Okay. 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 Please, this is not time for the public to ask questions. This is the trustee meeting to conduct board business. I will stay afterwards to answer your question. Please allow us to finish the meeting. Okay? Okay. No, no, that's not the rules. Okay, there is rules and regulation, policies and procedures that must be followed. Okay? Okay. Wait. No, and we respect you. Yeah? Yes. Okay. Okay, I'm coming to you, but I gotta finish over here. Okay. Okay. If you're asking me to, ladies and gentlemen, you're asking me to respect you guys, but you're not respecting me. Okay? So I'm saying to you, let us respect each other. Let us respect each other. If you want us to work with you, then respect the process. There's a process that has to be followed. We will listen to you. Your voice will be part of the process and what we do as a board. We want you to know your voice is important. We have to follow the board process. Once the board process, I will come, we will talk to you. Please. Okay. Sir, that's not the board process, and you can't come and change it like that. We have a bylaw. We have to have a bylaw. Okay. No, Superintendent Hart needs to finish. Okay. Go ahead and answer the question, Superintendent Hart, please.
So if I can answer the question, Trustee Alves, through you, Chair Green, in terms of why we separated out Two-Spirit, we engaged with our Indigenous education team, and they engaged with community partners who are part of the Two-Spirit community. And you'll see that it spoke about how it varies from individual to individual, and taking out just using the individual to an S really speaks a little bit more holistically to based on the feedback that we got from our community partners.
Thank you, and through you, Chair, just for the benefit of all of us here and those watching, could you please provide just a definition, a loose definition as to what Two-Spirit is? Thank you.
I'm going to read it from the definition. So Two-Spirits vary from individual to individual, as it did from nation to nation in First Nations history. However, it is understood to apply to only those of Indigenous heritage, and even then, only to those who choose to identify as Two-Spirit. Example, LGBTQIA plus people who are Indigenous are not automatically Two-Spirit. Two-Spirit are people who bring the community circle together, and there is a website where you can learn more.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Okay. Trustee Davis. Trustee Davis.
So I am understanding this, that we are giving approval to do a report and bring, like, we have a policy here. Are we getting the entire community involvement in this? Because that's one of the things that we have to do, is get community involvement. I'm seeing large members of the community here. Were they involved? Were they involved in doing this policy? And that's my question.
So, okay, please, ladies and gentlemen. So, the question is either for Associate Director Logan or Superintendent Hart. What Trustee Davies is asking, because this is going to take a wider feedback from the community. So as you're developing this plan, is there a place for a voice for everyone to give their feedback on this and as part of the action plan? That's the question he's asking.
Through you, Chair Green, and in response to Trustee Davies' question, this is an action plan, and the purpose of the action plan was in response to the resolution that was brought forth by you as a Board of Trustees. And in developing the action plan, we engaged with multiple stakeholders who predominantly identified with the specific communities that are identified within the context of the action plan, so that we had an opportunity to speak with a wide range of folks who have been negatively impacted by the various ways in which our historical policies and practices, and also by virtue of the data that's been presented there. And so it is a living document. So as we work through the action plan, we'll have various opportunities for people to provide feedbacks in different ways, so that we have an opportunity to see how it is actually impacting our students and staff within the context of the action plan.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Kate. So, thank you for that, my brother. Okay, so I'm gonna move to Trustee Cole to ask a question. Oh, you have a follow-up?
I was just going to say, there are some groups here. Maybe we could take their information and they can sort of put some input into the final, whatever we're doing here.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So,
because how do we know they're not two-spirited? How do we know they're not?
So
don't know.
Trustee Davey, what I'll do, I'll ask staff to take. That's an advisement that Trustee Davies asked, and if staff could actually consult with the parents for the wider community. So I'll leave that with staff, and then maybe report back to the board how that went. Okay. All right. Thank you, Trustee. You can't ask a question again, Trustee Clark. You already asked a question. Okay. Trustee Cole.
Thank you, Chair. Through you. I don't know who wants to take this question, but whoever you deem appropriate, just to hinge on what Trustee Davies was saying there, in asking about, who does identify as this and how many are there. I was looking at the report, and there is a part here where it says from the PDSB Annual Equity and Accountability Report Card, September 21. And it goes on to list, for one example, Peel District School Board students who identify as Two-Spirit and LGBTQIA+ are 4 times more likely to rarely or never feel happy at school, and the list went on. I guess I'm more of a stats person than anything, but I think my question then would be, who was interviewed? Because I find this quite negative and disheartening, and I would assume, that there are people who identify as this who are quite happy and quite comfortable in the school system as well. So I would like to know where these statistics are coming from, how many people were interviewed, and I feel like maybe the ones that were feeling oppressed came forward to speak about how upset they were, but what about all the ones who were not?
Just 1 second. Okay. So that's that's a fully loaded question. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna ask staff to come back to this board to able to address that question. I'm gonna take a minute just to make a consultation with my governance officer before I make a decision on this. Thank you.
Excuse me, Chair, I have a question also.
Just give me a minute, Trustee McDonald. Okay, thank you for your patience. Trustee McDonald online, go ahead, ask your question, please.
Thank you. I was just a little confused with the answer that you gave to Trustee Bailey, because I'm not sure if we're thinking about the same thing under 1.3 with PSSP, but I don't think that's a parent group. I think that's like the professional student service personnel, like the psychologists, peace pathologists, those professionals. I don't think it has to do with parents, because they're talking about like the equity department, human rights. So I wanted that clarification.
Yeah, yes, thank you for that, Trustee McDonald. Yes, go back and look, and yes,
Sorry.
confirm.
Thank you.
I will clarify. Yeah, it's professional services support personnel.
Yep, thank you. Okay, trustees, I have listened to all the trustees' question. Any other question before I ask what I'm gonna ask? Listen to your question, and I think there's some probing question here tonight that could not be answered. And I am gonna ask, would someone put a motion to defer this motion to the next board meeting so staff can answer the appropriate question that has been asked here tonight by trustees, so that we can have the important information to make a decision, because this will affect our many families and students within our board.
Sorry, point of clarification. I have a point of clarification.
Okay.
Point of clarification before you call the motion.
Okay. Okay, just a minute, please. Just a minute. Just Lucas, just Trustee
Before
Alves.
this goes on the floor,
Yes,
I have a point of
no,
clarification.
I need to put it on the floor
It's a point
first.
of order.
Okay,
Can staff answer the questions that we asked tonight, or do they need us to take this back for deferral?
okay. Okay, you cannot ask a question unless it's on the floor, sir. It's not on the floor. I'm trying to tell you that.
Okay.
It's not on the floor. Okay, so Trustee Davies put it on the floor. Trustee Johal has put it on the floor. Now you can ask your question.
Thank you. Sorry, it was, my question is, point of clarification is regarding the motion. You're asking to defer this action plan. And I'm asking staff to avoid having to defer critical work. Can we answer these? Are these questions that have been asked today not possible to be answered today, or do we have to defer?
Okay.
Thank you, and through you, Chair Green, and thank you, Trustee Alves. It would be helpful if we could just have the questions just clearly identified, because there were sometimes multiple questions. So could it be clarified exactly what the questions are, so that we have an opportunity to discern a response?
Yeah, so based in what I'm hearing, there will be question around data. There will be question around survey. There's question around who is it that will be surveyed. Staff, I think I have to be a responsible chair to say you need time to answer those questions appropriately. So I'm going to turn to Director Saru to then.
Thank you, Chair Green, and through you, we will have a look at the questions that have been asked and make sure that we've captured those questions, and we will have to take it back.
Okay.
Sorry, just to follow up then, can we ask that staff to find a date where this will come back?
Next board meeting.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay. 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 So we have this, so the motion is on the floor to defer this and for staff to come back with an awesome report at our next board meeting so that these questions can be answered. And then at that time, we will then call for a vote. All those in favor to defer, so staff got time to come back with an awesome report. Those in favor, please raise your hand. October 25th is the next board meeting, yes? Okay. Okay, to defer. Those in favor of deferred? Okay. 1, 2. Okay. Defer. That's the question is being called. Does trustee wants to defer? To give time staff to come back to answer these questions. And I'm seeing only two people are saying to defer. Okay, all right, so if 2 people are saying it's defer, then the motion has failed to defer. Okay, so now I'm gonna call the vote. All those in favor of the motion that is on the table to give staff direction to develop the action plan. Okay, Trustee Promoli, Trustee Clark, all those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Carries. Thank you. Motion carried. Motion passed. Thank you. Okay. 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 All right. Okay. So, all right. We'll move to item number 17. I'll move to item 17. There is no trustee motion for consideration this time. Item 18. There is no notice of motion from trustee. Trustee Bailey is moving the adoption of the in-camera report. Trustee McDonald, all those in favor? There is nothing. Okay, motion to adjourn. Trustee Cole. All those in favor of adjournment? Thank you.